During this time of confusion and craziness in the world, we need to love Jesus and be his representative here on earth. The story goes of the great minds who put together the nuclear weapon that was dropped on Japan during the Manhattan Project. That one time during a lunch break, they were all gathered together and they were discussing what's called the Drake equation. And the Drake equation sort of mathematically says that there has to be extraterrestrial life in our galaxy. And there has to be so much of it that obviously they have come to Earth. All these great minds were gathered there at that lunchroom table, the story goes, and they were talking about, obviously there's been extraterrestrials visiting our planet. Obviously there's so many more lives and types of lives out there in our galaxy. Till finally, when the conversation came to a lull, one man who wasn't saying anything by the name of Enrico Fermi, he asked this question: then where are all of them? Where are they all? If the equation says they're here, if you all agree they're here, then where are they? I think God must say the same thing about his children. He looks out on the world that we are living in time of confusion and pain and destruction, and probably says, where are all of my children? I hear people say this all the time, like, why would a good God do this? Why would God let this happen? And I think God's response to most of those questions are, why are you letting it happen? Why are you letting people starve? Why are you letting children being taken advantage of and chemically castrated right there in your own city? Why are you turning the other cheek, not for forgiveness, but away from what's taken place so that you don't feel guilty about it? Why aren't you doing anything? You see, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know that God called us to, well, it's a long story, but God called us to start a foundation to help third graders in the city of Pontiac reading. And what happened is, well, we went to every door and we tried to find what God would have us do. We pulled on a door and it just didn't open. Till finally we came to a great big door and God had opened it. It was so obviously this is what God wanted us to do. That's what God wanted me to do. I don't know what you're supposed to do, but I know this. I know that God has a purpose and a plan for your life. And I also know the only one keeping you from it is you. So when God looks out on this planet, and like Enrico Fermi says, where are all of they? What are you doing as God's representative?